Thank you for this. Thank you for agreeing.
Yeah, sure.
So, how's your day? How's your day going?
Um, Good. I got kind of slept in, so got up
Uh,
like an hour
we
ago.
we all have that.
hmm
So let's get this started. So let me ask you the first question. Tell us a little about yourself. What inspired you to pursue a career in animation?
Oh, let's see. Well, probably what inspired me to get into animation was just watching cartoons like back in high school, middle
Yeah.
school. Um, like when I was in high school, Gravity Falls was the big one. I think that one like was the first show I watched where like I could go online and like see the people who worked on it and be like, oh,
Yeah.
like this is a job I can do.
Hmm.
And then like what else? It's like Steven Universe came out, their Korra was around the same time. Like all those kind of like together just kind of seem to show like, oh, I like to draw. Watch a lot of cartoons. Like I could draw cartoons
Yeah.
uh for work. So um I guess like my journey to that, like I went to um I didn't go to like any big like CalArt fancy art school.
Yeah.
Like I went to like the local state university basically, which when I started had like a super small uh animation program. Which started to grow a lot by the time I was going through it, and now it's like getting uh pretty big with more classes now.
Yeah.
Um, but didn't have much to do. We made short films. Near the end, there was like a storyboard class, like right before I graduated. It was mostly just going through the program, making short film after short film. Um, and then I graduated in 2020, right when the pandemic started, that spring. So, coming into, uh, I guess it was weird because like it's the pandemic, because it was like really tough.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, it was like the animation industry was doing more outreach, like more online stuff. It's our because I'm based in Hawaii. Um,
Yeah.
so it's like okay, well now it feels like I don't have to like be in LA to
Yeah.
do everything.
The pandemic was like a I think it was like a huge surge of like remote, like doing the things remote, like working at home, like doing animation,
hmm
voice acting, all that. And I feel like that's something that's not going to go away, despite the fact that things have seemingly returned to normal.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so because it really opened up a lot of opportunities for like
Yeah.
just people outside of LA and New York, the big cities. Um, because yeah, it really felt exclusive to LA. And like even though I feel a lot of people were kind of down about having to work from home all the time and missing their coworkers, I don't know. It felt more exciting for me just as someone uh just coming out of school,
Hmm.
being able to um absorb all of it. Rise Up animation was a thing which they do portfolio reviews and they did tons of um webinars with the animation industry like uh that year. Um and so I was really involved with them, like going to all their panels, learning like everything I didn't learn in school and like starting to make a portfolio, getting portfolio reviews, meeting a couple mentors to like learn more about storyboarding. Um, then even I'd say like 8 months of that, I got a test for Helluva Boss, an indie series, and uh, I got the job from that test. And about a year after that, the showrunner, Vivian, was pretty much invited me to work on the Hazbin show with A24, and so that I rolled into that. Still working on Helluva. I guess that's kind of my journey from watching Gravity Falls to now working on cartoons.
Hey, that's good. Like, what is it like working on Hell of a Boss? What's Vivian like?
Um, she's really cool. Uh, it's Hello Boss, I think was a really great um first storyboarding job for me,
Yeah.
just because it's not in the studio system. So um deadlines were like a bit looser. Like we're not going off of like we gotta get this episode done by this date for like our entire
Uh,
like studio schedule. Um we had like a lot of time. I had a lot of time to like uh kind of feel it out and like learn on the job and just not feel too pressured and not burn out super fast.
well, that's good.
Um yeah, like it's it's a pretty I mean it's as chill as a storyboard job can be. I'd say.
What are your hobbies outside of animation?
I feel like I could answer this question better before the pandemic. When the pandemic happened, I'm like, I don't even know what I do anymore. um,
I've
uh,
I've been there. You're not alone.
yeah. It's like the typical Hawaii stuff, hiking, going to the beach. I like watch movies a lot, but I feel like that's kind of related to animation. But
Oh, I
um,
I go to movies every day. I used to go to the movie theater all the time to go see any movie I want. Like I just that's what I do. I like watching movies because like they give me ideas.
mhm.
It also helps me like it in a way helps me voice act. So and plus it just keeps me not bored.
Yeah, same for storyboarding. I feel like the more you watch, um, especially movies, the more you learn and the more you like
Yeah.
you can add to your repertoire of like what makes a good scene, what makes a good story, what get what makes good acting, cinematography, etc. Um, and like it was great because my job before I graduated university was working at a movie theater, so I got like free movie tickets. I would just go every week and watch good movies, bad movies, whatever. Like I could watch anything without
Yeah.
having to worry about spending money. So
That's a those are perks. Those are the
mhm.
perks of working in a movie theater. Any favorite shows you like past or current?
Oh, current like the currently running ones. I love Owl House.
Lumity for life.
Yeah. Um, my favorites, which is like very terrible for me, are Summer Camp Island and Craig of the Creek. Like,
I
like
love Craig.
wow, I chose some really great shows for the industry to screw over right now.
Give me just half a second. What the fuck?
Oh,
So
I heard
my
about that
babies
news.
are like bleeding out on the floor, but yeah, I love Craig of the Creek, love Summer Camp Island. Um, a couple years ago, City of Ghosts came out, and that was just a great Elizabeth Ito show. Um, like I think that's one of the best cartoons like ever made. But um, what else? I mean, back then, like I loved Adventure Time, all the great cartoons. I'm recently getting back into this very underrated like superhero DC cartoon called Legion of Superheroes. It was like
What's it
on the
called?
Kids WB, Legion of Superheroes.
I think I know
It
what
was
you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like 2006 Kids WB show. Like I'm getting my friends into it right now, but I've heard like nobody in my life ever talk about this show ever.
I
And I
have
think it's
never I have never watched it. I've the only shows I've superhero shows I've watched on Kids WB were like Static Shock or Justice League.
Hmm. Yeah, I watched it as a kid. I loved it, and then recently I'm like kind of rediscovering it, and like Superman and Brainiac 5 in that show are so gay. They're like the entirety of season 2 is like
I
a
may need to
love
watch it
story.
now.
Of course, it's 2006, and it's like, it's subtext, but it's like very obviously like this
I
is what
may
they
have
were
to watch it now.
doing,
You
and I'm
you
like,
just piqued
it
my
is,
interest.
yeah, it's very good. Um, and it holds up pretty well. A little dated as a 2006 like boys cartoon, but I think the characters are really great, and any chance I can get, I'm gonna shout out that show because no one has heard of it essentially. Um,
Well, I may need to watch it because there's plenty of other shows that I used to watch that it's starting to get some buzz or just good shows regardless. Like Shaolin Showdown.
love that show.
That
Yeah.
that is a good one. Mucha Lucha.
I used to watch that a lot too as a kid.
Yeah, that's a very good one. What else? I'll remember it later. My brain
Yeah, I
is
love
just
Ben
not right.
10, Teen Titans, Phineas and Ferb,
That's a
all
good one.
those, yeah, all
hmm
those era shows.
Now, my next question is, um, who's your favorite character in Helluva Boss?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Um, my go-to, I have two that I'm like, they're my favorites. Not necessarily like the biggest involvement in the story, I guess, but like I just love them. Octavia and Fizzaroli.
Ooh, I hope we see more of Octavia. She's
Mm-hmm.
she's my favorite character, and Verosika. I like Verosika too.
Veronica's great.
Christina V just kills it with the role.
Yeah, it's great to hear her do like something totally different than like
hmm
Ladybug.
What is your strongest asset in storyboarding? What's your weakest or challenge in storyboarding?
Um, I guess asset. I really like character acting. I think like that's what I had the best grip on when I first started. Um, I really like, just kind of, well, character acting, and also my favorite thing to storyboard, funny faces. Um, I love like just getting into the character and then just also making them really funny too as well. I love adding jokes
Yeah.
um everywhere I can. Um, like lots of visual gags. And I guess the hardest thing that I had to like get out of when I started was like I wasn't the greatest at like getting a good variety of shot choices at the beginning. Like I would do a lot of medium shots and they were kind of flat. So um I would I had to work at that a lot. And I think by the time I got hired at on Helluva, I was definitely a lot better than I was when I graduated um school. Um but that was, I think, the biggest thing I had to work on was like stop doing medium shots. I gotta like put some wide shots and tilted shots. Just get more creative with my cinematography. Um, I think I'll always still be working on that, but that was the like uh biggest like uphill battle I've had to do in terms of learning.
What is worth? I think your storyboarding in Hell of a Boss is really good, and I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see in Hazbin Hotel.
Hmm.
That's also another show I'm excited about, and I know you can't say anything about it, so I'm gonna respect
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be something that I'm really looking forward to.
Hmm.
Now, is there anything to look at for when looking for storyboard positions?
I guess the best thing to do is to like kind of go for the projects you think you would not only have the most fun at, but like the ones you would be best at. Like if you're not, not really like a very funny person and you love like boarding action, um,
Mhm.
you know, obviously like maybe don't apply to Big City Greens, like go apply to an action show. Uh, like for me, I would always be looking for more comedic stuff, less. I mean, I do like boarding action, but I would never really go for like the big um like not saying I these were on the market when I was applying, but like Vox Machina or like um He-Man, like those are just not like the kinds of drawings or boards like that I not only don't have in my portfolio, like I don't have much of an interest in doing too much.
Hey, that's fine. People
So
have their
it's
interests,
like
man.
I'm just not gonna go for that. Yeah. Like
Hey, that's fine.
I'll apply to the um like action comedies. I love action comedies or just straight comedies or dramas. Those are great, which Hello Boss like fits that perfectly. It's like I
Oh,
can be funny,
oh, so much.
I can do like these fun little action scenes, like and then something like, oh, look at all this angst I can do. It's it it hits all like the right things I like to draw.
What's your favorite type of anime?
Ooh, so if you asked me this like back when I was in college, I would have been like, I hate anime. Like I
Oh,
don't like
what?
anime. Um, but that was because I think at the time I was only being recommended shonen, and like I can't do it.
That explains
Like
that tweet where you say you didn't like Dragon Ball. That's fine.
I don't like Dragon Ball. Like
I'm not.
I
I'm just gonna.
try.
I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear that. I'm just kidding. But
Like I do play it up like I'm like I hate Dragon Ball. I don't hate it. But I'm not in it's not for me.
no, that's fine.
Um
I know a lot of people who aren't into Dragon Ball. That's fine. Like I know people who like Neon Genesis Evangelion or Berserk, and
mhm.
those are good ones.
Yeah, like I've been getting into anime a lot more, especially the last couple years. My favorite one right now, like um kind of corny, but I got back into Pokemon for this recent series. Which that's like my number one thing is Pokemon. Like if you need to know that about me. But the Pokemon Journey series has been like my favorite Pokemon series ever.
I need to
And
start watching that
I
because
think it's
I'm a sucker for that look, that good fluid animation.
yeah, it's really well animated. It's like a lot more like slice of life comedy based, which is like I'm finding that like that's my favorite thing in anime is like the more
Yeah.
slice of life comedy shows. Um, I had to stop watching the English version just because the Japanese uh version was like getting so far ahead. Like, okay, I need to be able to catch up. But I love the English version too because like Zeno Robinson as Go is like just a great voice.
Zeno
Um,
Robinson is such
it's so good.
great talented. He's an inspiration for me.
Hmm.
Like
Like
he just that's so good.
Pokemon kind of feels like they're ending Ash's story right now, and like I kind of want Go to be the main character of the series just to hear more Zeno Robinson. You know?
I do too. I do hope that maybe I can finally start watching Pokemon again because let's be honest, I haven't really watched Pokemon in a while, so
Hmm.
I've been more into other stuff, mainly Dragon Ball or One Piece or Digimon.
Hmm. Yeah, and like so yeah, I've been watching a lot of Pokemon, trying to catch up with some older series like the Sun and Moon series. Uh but yeah, like comedy slice of life stuff. I really like No Non Biori, which is like this really like soft slice of life show. Um uh Getting into some shoujo, like right now I'm watching Oran High School Host Club for the first time and Princess Tutu for the first time. And what's that? Uh, there's a lot of like Netflix anime too, like Great Pretender. I'm in the middle of. It's really fun. Just started BNA was great. Just started watching. What's it called? the Cyberpunk series. That one's pretty cool so
I think I heard
far.
about that. It's getting a lot of buzz lately. I need to start watching.
Yeah, it's pretty cool so far. Like people are like the show is amazing. Um, like yeah, I think it's really good.
Now, this one is a funny question. This one is a funny question before the last one. Um, if there was any kind of character you hate in Steven Universe, who is it?
Ronaldo.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know people hate Lars before he became Pink, but I
Mhm.
just don't like Ronaldo.
Yeah, I can handle Lars. And Lars has that tiny bit of like Filipino flair that I can
Hmm.
enjoy.
I just what
Um,
but Ronaldo.
Ronaldo is like I hate this character. I hate this kind of person. I just um
He's
and
just
like
ugh, it's
yeah,
just
I can't stand him.
he's grading. He's grading. That's what he is. Now, the
Yeah.
last question is, do you have any advice for people pursuing storyboarding?
Mm, that's kind of let me try and think of like something specific. I guess advice for storyboarding. I guess time management is a big one. Um like I feel like there's a big temptation to like make really nice polished animated boards that look really cool, and like definitely I do that a lot. Especially on Helluva. I mean not too much on Helluva, but since we have more
Yeah.
time on Helluva, it's like um oh I can go a little harder on these, but like um if you're working on a if you want to be prepared for like a show with like a really tight TV schedule, like
Mhm.
focus more on clarity. Um yeah, I'd say just clarity above all else. Like storyboards do not have to look pretty. Um Obviously some shows they will, like the TMNT boards are really, really nice and cool. But uh yeah, I guess that my biggest advice would just when you're doing boards, just focus on getting the story across clearly and like as simply as possible. And that's not necessarily like drawing great drawings, just do like just really effective, simple, clear boards. Because that's what we're just giving our boards over to the animators. And everyone else in the pipeline can make it pretty. Like you just need to make the blueprint. And don't get too caught up in everything else because that can be a distraction.
Yeah. But is that it? So is that all
Um,
the is that well I'm sorry if that sounded rude.
no,
Was that
no.
is that all you have to say about the about advice for storyboarding?
Let me think. What else? I mean, very like fundamental stuff, like learn perspective. Um, I think uh that's really important. Like I do see a lot of like beginner boards that are like the way characters are placed in scenes. It's just like sense. Um like I would wish I could like bring up a drawing to show, but like one one like actionable tip I could give is like if you have like your horizon line, um, your perspective grid, like let's say the horizon line passes through my shoulder right here.
Yeah.
Um, if I was at the same height, sitting like um 50 feet back, like obviously I'd be smaller in frame, but the horizon line would still be going through um my shoulder. And that's like a nice little tip to like get um just understand like how characters will be placed through a scene in perspective, because like I'll see sometimes like a character will be in the back like this and like the horizon line's going through their knees or something, or through their um shoulder, and like the character big in the foreground here, we'll see um like their butt or their legs like going to the horizon line. It's
Yeah.
like, well, that's going to imply that the legs are just as high as the other character's shoulders, and like maybe that other character is really short, but usually like it's not. um I wish I could give like a visual example, but that's a big one. Like I see like characters just placed not in perspective. uh um and like you can tweak it a little for like a cool shot, but um I've seen like some really off perspective that sometimes like, it's an easy little tip to like get that across. Just learn perspective. There's lots of resources out there. Get portfolio reviews. Um like when you make when you make portfolios, when I because I do teach a little too.
Oh,
um Yeah. One one I'll call it an excuse. I feel a little mean calling it an excuse, but um people are like, I'll get my portfolio review after I finish this one last storyboard. Like, let me add this. It's like, no, just go now. And like then you can like add like what you uh when I say go now, there's like, the Animation Guild does reviews, I think once a year. Rise Up Animation does portfolio reviews for people of color every month. Um, so like yeah, just go take your portfolio, get a industry professional to look at it, uh, and give you like very actionable personal advice on your board specifically. And you can take that and you'll learn from that and apply this to the boards you're working on now. It can be scary to get like someone looking at and critiquing your boards. Um, um, but I think that's the best way to learn. Like you can watch as many how-to storyboarding videos as you can. Like it's not gonna like you'll learn the fundamentals, but it's not gonna compare to like actually getting someone to look at your work specifically. And I feel like that's how I learned the most. Um, Maybe it's not for everyone, but I think like everyone should at least try. Um, and like yeah, just get that feedback and learn and grow from it. Um, and it's scary. Just ignore your fear, I guess, and just do it. Don't wait. Just do it. Uh, yeah, I guess that's another piece of advice I can give.
I mean, that's good. Those are some good advice, man. And I think people, I think I have some mutes who are aspiring storyboard artists, and I think they're gonna watch this and they'll feel inspired.
I hope so. Storyboarding, it's hard work and you do a lot, but I think it's really rewarding.
Mhm.
Um, like like my first boards on Helluva are coming out sometime this month, for season two.
Oh
Um,
yeah, you're storyboarding the new episode of Octavia, right?
yeah, yeah.
I
Which,
am I'm excited for that.
mhm,
I hope the very best for you.
yeah, thank you. And it's great because like Octavia, when I first joined, like she was my favorite character. So like getting that first, and like I can't say Octavia's in there because they did announce that, but um like yeah, it was just like, whoa, like I get to work with one of my favorite characters now.
That's good. Like
Mm,
I'm
which
very
is fun.
excited for Hell of a Boss season 2 because there's a lot of things that I love about season 1 and I hope it gets expanded upon, like the relationship between Blitz and Brassica. Like see more. I want to see more Millie, some more of that, some more drama and comedy. It's just really good to see an indie show thriving and it's being talked about on Twitter and whatnot, and how it's gaining a lot of popularity.
Yeah, yeah, it's really cool to see. Before I joined, I was kind of like oblivious to how popular it was. Um, like I get these kind of messages a lot, but like anytime like I'll tweet out about like some kind of um hell of a thing, like there will be like tons of people being like, whoa, you're so lucky to be working on the show. And like when I first applied, I was like, oh, what's this show? Like I'll just apply to this show. I watched the episodes that were out at the time and I was like, this is really good. Like
Mhm.
I'll apply to this. I didn't realize like how popular it was. Um uh there is kind of a pressure in that now. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
there's
okay, a lot of
always some
people
of
are
that for when you're on a
are
big
paying
show.
attention to this. Yeah. Um, but I think it's really cool like seeing the big reception. Uh it's really funny seeing like because I they released like these gifs before the episode of like a shot and like the first one released of Octavia for this next episode was one I boarded and I see people like dissecting it and like doing like the arrow pointing like what is this, what is that, and like I'm just like this is really bizarre to see like something I like storyboarded just getting like seeing all these like little theories of just this one shot. It's like it's just uh a lot's going on. Like
Hey, it's probably going to be the most anticipated episode, and you're boarding it, so that's an honor, man.
mhm.
I mean, I'm sorry if I said that. Is that fine?
Hmm?
Is that fine? Saying man? Is that so fine?
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah, that's fine.
yeah, sorry about that.
No.
I'm a mess. Actually, I think I have one. I think I have time for one more question. Favorite Disney movie?
Ooh, I think Lilo and Stitch. That's like, you know, I think Lilo and Stitch is like I do kind of fall off of it a bit when it gets into all the alien stuff.
I
But
think
I
for a lot of people, but I
yeah,
enjoy the movie. I enjoy it a
yeah,
lot.
like I think Lilo and Stitch, like so far is I mean, there's been a couple in recent, at least for a long time, like the best representation of Kauai, like in Hawaii, on like in a big studio movie. Because
Yeah.
like all these Hollywood movies, they come to Hawaii and they film, and it's always the hotels and tourist
Yeah.
spots and the military.
Wasn't there a deleted scene in Little Stitch where they kind of make fun of tourism? And I'm just like,
Yeah,
why? Would
that
you take
was
that
like
out?
such a great scene. Like,
Because
yeah, I kind of wish that was in the final product, but like I'm not from there, but like I spent a lot of summers in West Kauai, like just a
yeah.
town over from where Lilo and Stitch takes place. And like it just captures so much of like, that rusty, gritty atmosphere. Where things are dirty, but they're so charming and beautiful. Um, and just like the little adventures you can get up into as a kid.
Yeah, I
Uh
think my family knows because they used to because my mom was stationed in Hawaii, and I think that's where she met her I think she met her husband, and my family, my brothers and sisters, they lived in Hawaii like and from 2011 to 2015, and me and dad visited, and it was kind of
yeah,
unreal to be in a place of Hawaii, and it just it was nice. So
yeah, it's great.
I didn't know the experience from it because like I'm just a visitor.
Yeah, like I don't know, it was especially Lilo and Stitch, like just getting that a different view that's not the big glamorous paradise. Like my favorite shot in Lilo and Stitch, which I think most people won't think of, but when Nani's like uh trying to get inside her house, like Lilo locked her out, right? She like goes around the back and like is trying the back door and it's super trashy. There's like a broken surfboard, like trash bags piled up, and she's like climbing over um like all this trash that her family had stored back there, probably over decades.
Yeah.
And like I'll point at the screen and like that's what it's like. Like I know this kind of house. Like Hollywood movies, they'll focus on the beaches, the
Yeah.
tourist stuff. Like you even get great stuff like Nani's uh she has a hard time getting work, and like the work she did get was at like this very whitewashed luau of like where she has to kind of put on a show as a native Hawaiian, like for all these tourists, and like it can be kind of degrading, but like this is all the work she can get.
Yep. Yeah,
And it's
I do
just
wish that we see. Do wish that a whole like when like we see more like of Hawaii and see just how colonized it is.
mhm,
Because I really wish they could have, like I said, I wish they could have kept that scene in about
mhm,
Lilo and the tourism because it kind of basically just hammers in your head about how like ignorant these tourists are and just how whitewashed
yeah. Like
basically it is.
it's frustrating.
It is.
Um yeah. And like that's something I want to explore too, like in my personal work. Like I did a short film based in Kauai a couple years back. And I'm doing like a webtoon based on those characters now too. And like I don't know, I just really want to be able to like bring more of like that small town rustic Hawaii charm to more people, just because I feel like you don't really get to see that a lot. Um,
That's Hollywood for you. They
yeah,
do that a lot.
yeah,
They
it's like you
they
always get the yeah,
yeah,
it's unfortunate. And
it
like
is.
even then it's like Lilo and Stitch the movie did really well in like portraying um the struggles that like uh Native Americans can go through, or Native Hawaiians can go through.
Mhm.
Um and then like but then Disney built a hotel here, and like pretty much drove up housing prices in like a native Hawaiian neighborhood.
Oh my
Uh
God.
and like you can go there and you can take pictures with costumes of Lilo and Stitch, and it's just like kind of this gradation of like, the corporation's gonna do what they're gonna do. And
Well,
yeah, it's a big Hollywood movie, but that movie felt like it had so much heart to it, and had a lot of important messaging. Uh that
it's what I want. It's what I want in a movie about a black character that doesn't turn into an animal. I mean, I like
yeah,
Princess and the Frog. I love that movie, but can we
mhm,
please stop with the whole
it's a
turning
frog
a black
movie.
character into a creature?
Yeah, yeah. Like as funny as those situations can be, it's like, well, there's like at a point it's like, well, you turn this brown character into a llama, you turn this black character into a frog. Like you keep doing it. And like at the very least, I feel like if you're gonna do that type of story, at least have it be told by a person of color. Like I think Turning Red did it pretty well.
It is.
Um like I don't see many people going like, they turned May into a red panda. It's like, no, it worked well with the story, and
It
like it
did.
still highlighted her culture a lot, and you never forget for a second that she's Asian. Like you just can't leave that out of the story. Um, so yeah, I just hope not for those kinds of stories to go away, but like just make sure there's more out there that we're telling, and more that and like have the actual like people who are representative of like their ethnicities or things, like telling these stories their own too, so they can actually do it in a way that doesn't feel cliche, because I feel like that's how it started to feel after like movie after movie of person
Yeah.
of color turning into animal.
Yeah, it's an annoying trend and I hope they stop. I hope they
Mhm,
stop doing that because it's getting kind of stupid.
mhm.
But
And it
anyway,
felt like we were, oh no, sorry.
no, you're fine.
It felt
Continue.
it felt like we were heading in that direction. Like especially in 2020. Like we're making so much progress, and then now it's like all the shows are getting canceled. All the shows aren't even coming out. It's like
Oh, I'm hearing a
it
lot of
feels like
that
we're
with
going
that
back.
whole layoff with Warner Brothers Discovery and all
Yeah,
that. Like I heard the news
yeah.
regarding like Craig of the Creek and Jessica's Big World, and it's just sad,
Hmm.
because Craig of the Creek is I think is one of Cartoon Network's biggest shows, and
Yeah,
they're just doing that, and
and it's the best. It's one of their best shows, like
it
if not the
is.
best. Like I love that show so much. Um, yeah, I guess like my biggest hope is that you know, I mean it feels really bad right now, but I feel like these things tend to happen uh to a bigger or lesser degree every so often. So like hopefully in a couple of years we'll be back to like making more progress and like uh you know it's kind of a cycle. I feel like this is just 2009 again. Essentially.
Yeah. No, I think we're getting that progress. I think it's already starting. Like
Yeah.
we got a Afro Dominican character, main character in Loose. The Moon Girl's
Mhm.
coming out,
Mhm.
and we're getting like into the Spider-Verse 2. Intergalactica came out, and that was mostly a black cast. So
That was a great movie.
just
Yeah.
it was. I need more adult animation like that.
Hmm. Yeah, I it is kind of like I'll go back and watch older cartoons and like you do kind of realize, well, I mean, I definitely notice it, but like you kind of take for granted like how many like uh main characters of color and like women of color are like now the main characters of these big
Yeah,
cartoons. It's like uh uh on Disney are like Luce, Anne, and Molly McGee, and like they're all like these really well written like uh brown girls like
yeah,
from different ethnicities, and just like wow, like as much as Little Phineas and Ferb, it's like we've come a long way since
yeah.
Phineas
We
and
just
Ferb, you
yeah,
know?
like we're getting that progress, and I can't wait to see more of it in the near future. Like I'm seeing a lot of people of color like storyboardists coming out of the woodwork from like other shows, and they're starting to tell their stories, and I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, like as unfortunate as it is for like Craig of the Creek to kind of be rolling off artists now. It's like those are really talented people and they're gonna go
Yeah,
off and make like really cool new things, I'm sure.
of
And
course they are, and but I
no,
still feel
it's
for them.
sad, but it's
It
not.
is.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's it's a really been a really rough year for animation this year, but
It
I think
has.
uh it's always gonna bounce back, especially with all these talented people like working
Hmm.
now. Like it's still I'm still excited for the future.
We all are, and I just hope the future is bright.
Hmm.
But anyways, I that's all I have for today. And I want to say thank you for,
All
like I
right.
said, agreeing to this.
Yeah, this is really fun.
Thank you. And I will be looking forward to seeing this episode you storyboarded on Hell of a Boss.
Yeah,
And
it's a really good episode.
oh, I'm already hype. Me and my friend
Yeah, the
are
storyboard
huge.
team was great on that episode, so I'm really excited to see.
Oh, like no other, like, because I've seen a lot of people praising episode 7 of Hell of a Boss, that whole action episode, and I think that's like just just shows how talented you guys are.
Mhm. Yeah, it's I'm not gonna say give away anything, but like it's gonna be a really exciting season, I think.
Well then, that makes it all the more hype.
Mhm.
But thank you, Gavin, and I hope you have a good day now.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
You as
Love
well.
being here. Bye.